The human ship Saber drifted near the enemy line like a small candle in a storm. Through a cracked viewport, stars looked cold and sharp. Arif Khan stood at the command rail. Red lights touched his face. His comms officer, Lieutenant Mera Singh, watched him in silence. On his console, one message icon glowed. It was from Zoya, his wife. It had waited for hours. He did not press play. Not yet. He looked at the tactical map. The Keth Dominion fleet had formed a slow circle around Earth. It was a patient circle. It was the kind of circle that closed only once. Big, heavy ships waited at equal gaps like teeth. Smaller hunters moved between them and searched for human mistakes. Arav spoke in a calm voice. "Hold speed," he said. "No beacons. Passive scan only. Sensors on passive," Mera said. "Noise floor is high. Enemy chatter is disciplined," Arav nodded. He already knew. The Keth did not fear human missiles. The Keth feared human ideas. SFX, soft static, low digital pings. Between the command chairs sat a sealed unit the size of a coffin. It was dark. It had no marks. It had a single key slot. Inside that unit lay the heart of a captured Keth dreadnought. Its core. It was more than a computer. It was a ritual brain, a memory of their honor rules, their battle customs, their old vows and their new pride. It was also the reason Vektar, the Keth admiral, had sent a general warning across all bands. Humans. Return the code thief. Return what you stole from our bones. Surrender, and your cities will keep their names. Mera glanced at the black unit. "Sir, if we use it wrong, they will burn us. If we use it right, they will still try to burn us." Arav's mouth made a small smile. "True," he said. "But if we use it right at the right time, they will pause." "Pause?" she asked. "Honor has rules," he said. "Rules have doors. We only need one door to open." He placed the metal key in the slot and did not turn it. Not yet. The bridge fell quiet. Far below, Earth turned. Clouds covered continents. The oceans flashed with fires that were not storms. Zoya was down there somewhere, in a clinic near the Old Coast Road. She had steady hands and a steady voice. She also had a promise from him. He closed his eyes for one breath. A few months ago, on a warm day, under simple lights, they had stood together. Family smiled. Friends laughed. Zoya had pressed her forehead to his and whispered, "Come home no matter what." He opened his eyes. "Status of the enemy flagship?" he asked. Mera zoomed the map. The flagship sat like a black crown at the circle's top. "Flagship is broadcasting a layered chant. It sets the tempo for every ship. It is like a metronome." "Good," Arif said. "Then we know where to sing," Mera blinked. "Sing?" Arif pointed at the sealed core. "Inside this thing is a shame signal. It is not a weapon. It is a rule. When the Keth hear it, they must open honor channels. They must pause and prove they are clean. It is one of their oldest codes. They hide it deep because it can stop a battle for a few heartbeats." "A few heartbeats are not much," Mera said. "For humans," he said, "a few heartbeats are everything." SFX, soft rising tone. On the outer band, a Keth scout ship rolled its black hull to catch the light. Its guns stayed cold, but its eyes were hot. It searched for the little candle called Saber. "Scout is inside our dust," Mera warned. "It will see us. Then we test," Arav said. He took the key and turned it one click. The sealed unit woke. The air felt heavier. Low, old tones filled the bridge. Tones like iron bowls touching. The ship's speakers did not play them, but the signal went out across space, thin and clean, as if it knew the way. SFX, 3 clear chimes, then a hush. The Keith scout ship jerked. Its lights changed. For a moment, it held still in a strange pose, like a warrior caught mid-bow. On Earth, old railguns aimed and waited. They did not fire fast. They fired once. SFX, one heavy, distant boom. The scout folded in half and went dark. Mera let out a breath. "It works," she said. "It works on a scout," Arav said. "The flagship will be harder." He turned the key back. The core went quiet. The bridge light seemed brighter now. Across the circle, the Keth flagship changed its chant. A voice rolled over every band, calm, deep, annoyed. "Humans, you touch our sacred notice. You stain the mirror. Return our core. Return the thief who plays our name against us." Arav answered nothing. He looked again at the message icon from Zoya. It waited, patient and warm. Mera lowered her voice. "Sir, if we push closer to the crown, we enter their kill zone. They have mines. They have blind fire. If we send the shame signal there, we might freeze us instead. Then we do not freeze, Arav said. We flow. He stepped to the viewport and saw his own faint shape in the cracked glass. He spoke softly to himself and also to the ship. For love. For Earth. For us. On his palm, the message icon pulsed. He tapped it open. SFX. Hiss of a recording starting. Distant city noise. Soft wind. Zoya's voice came through. Calm, warm, and strong. Arav, if you hear this, the sky is loud tonight. The clinic is full, but we are brave. I boiled water. I fixed the light. People are scared, so I am not. Come home. He closed his eyes. The bridge crew lowered their heads, like listeners in a quiet temple. Zoya continued, steady and simple. If you cannot come today, then come tomorrow. If not tomorrow, come the day after. I will keep a cup of tea ready. I will keep the door unlocked. I will keep my promise. You keep yours. The message ended. The ship hummed. The circle tightened. The candle burned. Arav opened his eyes and set his hands on the rail. Mera, he said, plot a course into the crown. We will knock on the old door, Mera swallowed. Aye, sir. Course set. He turned the key all the way. SFX, rising harmonic, then sudden silence, like the air holding its breath. The shame signal reached for the flagship. Cut to black. The human ship Saber moved toward the Keth crown like a quiet blade. On the bridge, Arav Khan stood tall but still. Lieutenant Mera Singh sat at comms, hands steady, eyes fast. The sealed Keth core, the black unit with the key, rested between them like a sleeping animal with sharp teeth. Beyond the viewport, the Keth circle tightened around Earth. The flagship held the high point, a black crown with cold lights. Its voice was in every channel, calm and heavy, like a drum that never missed. Humans, the voice said. Return the core. Stop staining the mirror. Arav did not answer. He checked the time marks on his screen. He needed one clean window, only once. Mera, he said, show me the crown's rhythm. Mera opened a pattern map. Simple lines appeared, short pulses, long pulses, then a pause like a held breath. They set timing for the whole fleet, she said. Every ship follows. It's like a metronome for war, Arav nodded. If we break the metronome for one breath, their hands move wrong. He placed his fingers on the key, but he did not turn. Not yet, SFX, faint metallic chime like a memory of Part 1's test. The shame signal worked once on a scout. But the flagship was a fortress of rules. The flagship could lie. It could pretend to open honor windows and then spring traps. The shame signal might also reflect back and freeze Saber. If that happened near the crown, they were dead. Mera tracked fast-moving lights on her display. Enemy hunters on our left and right, she said. They are not closing. They wait. Arav tilted his head. They want us inside their teeth. Sir, Mera said, voice tight, if we go 2 clicks more, their mind's arm. If we go 4 clicks, we pass no return. Arav looked down at Earth. Smoke curled up from coast cities. Somewhere inside it, Zoya changed bandages and boiled water for strangers. He did not think of fear. He thought of her calm voice. Come home. 2 clicks more, he said. The ship glided forward. SFX. Engine hum rises 1 step, then settles. Low heartbeat under. Prepare the shame signal, he said. But do not send yet. We need a mask. A mask? Mera asked. Arav pointed at the starfield. Noise. We must hide the signal inside something natural. Stardust, solar hiss, even our own heat. If the flagship hears a clean note, it resists. If it hears a note inside life, it obeys. Mera bit her lip, thinking fast. She opened an old training file called Weather in Space. A simple trick. Reflect background radiation through hull plates to carry a whisper. We can fold the signal into the hull glow, she said. Like ink and tea. Good, Arav said. Do it. Mera worked. Panels flickered. The ship's skin warmed in a delicate pattern. Inside that warmth, she hid the Keith shame signal, a very old code with very sharp edges, SFX. Gentle hiss, like steam. Then 3 soft chimes buried under the hiss. Signal masked, she said. Ready on your mark. On the right side of the map, a Keth hunter turned, offered a fake honor window, then rolled to cover a minefield. The window was not a welcome. It was a mouth. Arav kept his voice soft. They expect a straight signal. We will give them a curved one. He looked at the black core. Open a tiny slice, he said. Mera turned the key a quarter. The core woke, but only a little. Old tones pressed at the air like slow bells under the floor. SFX, distant, almost inaudible bowls ringing. Then a hush. "Send," Arav said. Mera sent the masked shame signal across the crown's timing band, not as a shout, but as a question. The question was simple. "Are you clean? Prove it." Keth doctrine said, when asked in this old way, a ship must open proof channels and pause guns, unless the admiral breaks his own honor in public. On the flagship, tiny lights changed. Mera zoomed in. Her voice went small. "They are splitting their band. Half moves to proof channels, half to counter tricks." She looked up. "They are not sure." Arav's jaw set. "Good. Uncertainty slows hands." The left hunter suddenly launched a marker flare, a Keth targeting method. The flare painted Saber with white beams. Minds woke. "Here it comes," Mera said. Arav leaned forward. Now the echo. He told the Corps to send a second phrase with the shame signal. A mirror line from deep Keth ritual law. It said, if proof is refused, the crown risks shame. It was not an attack. It was a reminder. The flagship's lights shifted again. For one breath, the crown hesitated, afraid to ignore its own law in front of lesser ships. That was the opening. SFX. Sudden silence, like the vacuum holding its breath. "Fire decoy veil," Arav said. Small pods shot out from Saber, but they did not make heat. They made shadows. Cold gaps that looked like nothing at all. Behind each shadow, a human missile tucked close, like a fish hiding under a leaf. The minds looked for heat and sound. They did not look for quiet. SFX, soft thips, then a flat low tone for the shadows. The first wall of mines woke and fired blindly at phantom heat left by the marker flare. Explosions boomed in the wrong lanes. Cold shadows slipped by. The missiles moved slow, then fast, then slower again, keeping time with the crown's confused rhythm. Mera grinned despite herself. "They cannot see the fish," she said. Arav did not smile. He watched the flagship. "Wait," he said. Two hunters twisted to block. They opened counter windows, tried to pull the shame signal into a trap. If Cyber answered inside those windows, the flagship could claim dishonor purge and erase the pause. Arav whispered, "Not that door." "The other door," Mera understood. She re-aimed the hidden signal past the hunters and up into the crown's central drum, the exact node that fed timing to the entire ring. It was a bold reach. If it failed, Saber would light up like a match. The Corps hummed deeper. A low old phrase crossed space like a line carved in stone. The crown's drum faltered for half a beat. SFX, a single clean chime, then the metronome skips. Tick. Gap. Tick, that gap was life. "Now," Arav said, voice flat. The missiles slid out of their shadows and sprinted. The two hunters saw them too late. One turned its guns and hit its own mine wake. The other tried to block with a shield, but the shield came up offbeat because the drum had stuttered. SFX, two sharp impacts in the distance. Then radio static of enemy panic. "Two hunters disabled," Mera reported. "Third is limping. The gap is open." A calm voice rolled over the bands. The Admiral himself, closer now, colder now. "Human, you make our hands dirty. You think this is clever? I think your house will be ash." Arav kept his eyes on the flagship. "Mera," he said, "how long until the crown corrects?" 45 seconds, she said. "Maybe less. Then we only need 40, he said. He advanced the ship, not fast, just sure. The black crown grew, filling the frame of the stars. Under the floor, the core warmed, then shook. A red light blinked on its edge. Mera frowned. "Sir, the core doesn't like the echo trick. It is heating fast. If it trips the Keth failsafe, it will self-freeze us for 90 seconds. 90 seconds near the crown meant death." Arav watched the red light. He thought of Zoya's voice. "If not today, come tomorrow. If not tomorrow, the day after." He breathed out once. "We will not freeze," he said. "We will flow through." "How?" Mera asked. Arav's eyes were calm. "We borrow time from a heartbeat." He overlaid Zoya's last message waveform, not the words, only the rhythm, onto the shame signal carrier. Human heartbeat, soft, steady, alive. In Keth data, a heartbeat meant dual oath. If a dual oath sat on the line, the Crown's law demanded a clean pause to avoid dishonor. "It is risky," Mera said. "It is love," Arav said. "And law." He pushed the pattern. The core whined, then settled, as if the human beat gave it something to hold. SFX. Low whir stabilizes. Then a quiet thump-thump under the mix. The flagship flickered. For a breath and then another, its guns dipped. The Crown's drum held its own hands, unsure if firing now would break its oldest mirror. Mera's eyes widened. "We have a window," she whispered. 38 seconds. Arav nodded once. "Send the spear." A single core-breaker missile shot out, silent and thin, riding the human heartbeat like a small promise crossing a wide ocean. The Admiral's voice returned, sharp now. "Human, I see your ghost. You are inside our breath." The Crown's shields began to tilt into ritual mode. Wrong mode for war, perfect mode for honor. They tilted slow, like doors that had not moved in years. 20 seconds, Mera said. On Saber, alarms chirped. 2 fresh hunters broke off the ring and dove. They would reach Saber in 12 seconds. Arav didn't look at them. He watched the thin promise flying toward the Crown. "Come on," he said softly. "Come home." Smoke drifted along the old coast road like tired fog. In a small clinic with one working light, Zoya Khan tied a bandage and said, "Breathe in. Breathe out." Good. Her voice was quiet. Quiet made people brave. An old radio sat on a shelf. It hissed and whispered the sky. Now and then a clean tone poked through like a pin. "Crown. Skip. Window 30. A thin boy held the radio high with both hands. "Miss Zoya, is that your husband?" he asked. Zoya did not look at her phone. She did not need to. She felt the answer like warmth in the chest. "Maybe," she said. "Hold it higher." SFX. Radio hiss lifts, then a tiny bell ping, then hiss again. A deep fear siren rolled over the street from a Keth drone. It shook the air in long waves. People wanted to crouch. Zoya did not. She tapped a spoon on a cup. Tap. Tap. Tap, tap. A small pattern. The boy copied it on the radio case. Others copied it on tables, on door frames, on their own knees. "Good," Zoya said. "Keep the beat." A woman near the door asked, "Doctor, why the tapping?" "Because fear is a big drum," Zoya said. "We bring our own drum." She stepped outside. The street was gray and quiet. She held a cheap speaker and pressed play on a tiny message. "Walk, don't run. Drink water. Help who is near you." Simple words. She repeated them. The message did not fight the fear siren. It slid under it like a calm river under wind. Across the road, a shopkeeper lit a small lantern. The flame flickered. Zoya looked at it, then at the people. An idea arrived like a match. She raised her hand. "New rule," she said. "Every window, one light, not bright, just steady. And make it blink like this." She tapped the cup. Tap. Tap. Pause. Tap. 3, then 1, the boy said, smiling. 3, then 1, Zoya said. A lantern for a heartbeat. Lanterns and phone flashlights appeared in windows up and down the road. Small, warm, stubborn. 3, then 1. SFX. Soft taps and faint beeps all around. Tiny flames crackle. Inside the clinic, the radio caught a clear line for a breath. "We borrow time from a heartbeat." Zoya closed her eyes. "Yes," she whispered. "Borrow all you need." SFX. Cut to orbit. Engine hum, radar pings, low strings. In orbit, the human ship Saber slid toward the Keith Crown. On the bridge, Arav Khan watched the tactical screen without blinking. The core-breaker missile flew ahead like a thin promise. Lieutenant Mera Singh tracked hunter ships in tight arcs around them. "The gap is open," Mera said. "But the hunters are learning." Her fingers danced. "They predict our decoys. They paint us between shots." A cool voice rolled over every band. "Admiral Vektar, calm, certain, human, the road with the small clinic. I hold a lance over it. 90 seconds to ash unless you power down now. Drift, surrender, transmit. Do this and I spare that road. Refuse and your house learns silence." Mera's jaw tightened. "He is lying." Arav said nothing. He stared at a tiny blue mark on Earth. The coast, the clinic, the line of lights that might be lanterns now. He heard Zoya as not words, only steadiness. "Timer," he said. 90 seconds, Mera said. Hunters in 12. Core heat rising. If the Keth core trips fail-safe, we auto-freeze for 90 seconds. 90 seconds would kill them. Arav spoke like a stone. "We do not freeze. We flow." "How?" Mera asked. "By making the ground a choir," he said. Mera frowned, then understood. She pulled up a dusty file. Civic mesh, disaster mode. It used cheap things, phones, lanterns, radios. It turned crowds into timing nets. If 1,000 small lights blinked together, a beam that hunted perfect stillness would lose accuracy. It would see a soft ocean of almost. Can we reach them? She asked. Jamming is heavy. Hide our call inside what is already loud, Arav said. Use the fear siren as a rope. Mera fed a whisper into the siren's belly, so thin it rode the wave instead of fighting it. SFX, a silky thread tone weaving through a deep bass. On the ground. The boy's radio ticked. Miss Zoya, hear that? The whisper arrived, small as a hair. Lanterns, 3 then 1. Hold steady. Count 4. Hold 4. Walk. Help. Zoya laughed once, quiet and bright. Already done, she said to the air. She lifted her speaker. Neighbors, she called. Keep the lanterns 3 then 1. If your arm is tired, give it to a child. If your phone is low, use a candle. If you have neither, clap slow. 3 then 1. Clap, clap, clap. Clap, blink, blink, blink. Blink. A street became a metronome made of people. Arav watched the ground fill with little pulses. Good, he said. Now we send them a gift back. He told Mera to take the Keth shame signal, the old honor code, and lay the human beat on top. Not the words of Zoya's message. Only the rhythm. The core complained, heat rising, red light bright. It will trip, Mera warned. If it trips, we go stiff. Hold it with the drum, Arav said. Let the people carry the weight, Mera breathed in. Copy. SFX. The core's whine steadies. A soft thump-thump lines up with faraway claps. The Keth Crown's timing band flickered. For one breath and another it hesitated. Honor code versus war code. Old mirror versus new guns. Window at 32 seconds, Mera said. Core breaker on track, the Admiral returned. Voice thinner now, sharp. Human, you pollute the ritual. You teach peasants to touch the mirror, Arav answered without a mic. We teach our hearts to count. 2 hunters peeled off the ring and dove. Hunters in 8, Mera said. They will rake us. If we shield the refugee shuttle again, we lose speed. Arav looked at the shuttle. Old metal. Too many people, climbing straight, trying to live. We do not choose between people, he said. We shape time. He remembered Zoya at the sink, tapping a cup. Tap, 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 tap. A new idea formed. Steal their shot, not with metal, with moments. Mera, he said. What is the hunter pilot's breath rate under fear siren? Mera blinked. Around 6 per 10 seconds, why? Sync our roll to the exhale, Arav said. People steady hands when they breathe out. So do hunters. We move when they think they are still, Mera grinned. Human nonsense, she said. I love it. Her hands flew. Roll on exhale. Now, SFX, hull groans. A low whoosh slides along the ship's skin. Beam scraped where Saber had been a half-breath before. The hunters overshot like sprinters leaning wrong at the line. Window at 21 seconds, Mera said. Core heat high, red line. On Earth, the Keth lance powered above the coast road. Its aim hunted perfect stillness. It found instead a city of soft motion. Lanterns blinking 3 then 1. Children clapping 3 then 1. A woman's voice repeating the most basic rules of standing together. The lance hesitated. Not much, just enough to flatten precision into smear. Arav saw the smear on the board. Good, he said. Hold them in doubt, Vektar spoke again, very quiet. Human, you are not a soldier. You are a noise in a holy place. Arav's eyes stayed on the crown. Noise is life, he said. 10 seconds, Mera said. Hunter's looping for a ram. If they touch us, the core trips. Arav closed his eyes for one half-breath. He saw Zoya's hands, clean and small, fixing a bandage. He heard the tiny drum of a spoon on a cup. He opened his eyes. Calm. Bleed heat through the hull, he said. Make the ship a candle. Small, warm, stubborn. That will cook us, Mera said. Only the skin, Arav said. We keep the heart cool. Mera rerouted power. The ship glowed faint in infrared, just enough to look like a house light, not a flare. The core's red eased. The warning tone dropped a note. SFX, whine lowers. A relieved click from somewhere in the deck. 5 seconds, Mera said. The core breaker reached the crown's shield edge. The shield was the wrong shape for war, the right shape for honor, tilted like an open door that had not moved in years. On the ground, Zoya poured tea into 2 cups. Steam rose. She set 1 cup by the clinic door for a guest not yet here. She set the other in her own hand. People breathed with her voice. Lanterns kept time. Clap, clap, clap. Clap, up in the dark. The small promise touched the open door. SFX. A thin rising note. Then a sudden soft pop, like a bubble bursting inside iron. The lights in the crown flickered. Something deep and proud inside it remembered an old rule and stumbled. Mera's voice was a whisper. Impact in 3, 2. Alarms howled. The nearest hunter screamed in on collision course. It would hit Saber in 1 second. Arav did not shout. He said one word like a line in a prayer. Flow. The hunter rushed like a black spear. Saber rolled on the exhale. Half a breath late would be death. Arav Khan did not blink. Lieutenant Mera Singh counted inside her teeth. 3, 2, 1, now. SFX. Razor whoosh across the hull. Rivets ping. A shockwave that fades. The hunter missed by a hand's width and clipped its own mine wake. It spun out, flaring silent fire. Collision averted, Mera said, voice flat to hide the shake. Core heat stable. Core breaker. 2 seconds to crown shield. On Earth, the lanterns kept time. 3, then 1. Zoya's small clinic breathed with them. A cold voice slid over every band. Admiral Vectar. Human. You move like smoke. You hide behind ritual. Let us end this theater. The crown shield shifted again. Honor geometry half open. War geometry half closed. Confused by the human heartbeat riding the shame signal. Impact. Now, Mera said. SFX. A soft, inside the metal pop. Then a deep, distant thud that is more felt than heard. The core breaker touched the tilted shield and slipped through the old door. Not clean, but enough. It bit the outer layer and lodged in a nested lattice. Partial penetration, Mera said. Not catastrophic. We hurt the lock, not the heart. Arav's jaw tightened. They needed one more step, one more pause, one more breath longer than fear. Vectar spoke again, slower, colder. You make my fleet kneel to a household drum. Clever. Now watch clever burn. A new pattern pulsed from the crown. Mera squinted. That's not a weapon. That's a purge writ. Her voice dropped. Sir, if we answer any honor window now, the crown can declare us unclean and erase the pause by law. Arav understood. The admiral would use the human's own mirror trick to poison the mirror. If Saber tried another shame signal, the crown would flip the board and call it blasphemy. Hunters regrouping, Mera said. 2 above, 2 below. Admiral's lance on the road, recalibrating. Arav stared at the crown's central drum, the beatmaker. He whispered, We cannot hammer again. We must bend. He opened the sealed core a notch. The black unit breathed like a sleeping beast. SFX, low bowls ringing under the deck. A faint tremolo. Inside the Keith memory lay old instruments. Ritual phrases, taboos, courts without walls. Arav picked one, a ghost from before the Dominion welded its honor to guns. Protocol? Mera asked. Ghost court, he said. If a crown's honor is in doubt, the fleet must hold fire and listen for witnesses. His eyes were calm. We will make witnesses. Mera stared. Sir, we have no Keth voices. We have mirrors, Arav said. He told the Corps to throw the shame signal not as a notice, but as reflections from witness halls, a trick of phase and delay, like shouting in a canyon until the canyon answers. Every Keth ship would hear what sounded like other Keth captains questioning the crown's purity. If the admiral ignored them, he shamed himself publicly. It's illegal sorcery, Mera said. Then she smiled. Perfect. Mask inside our hull glow again, Arav said. No clean lines, only life. SFX, ship skin warms, distant. Chimes scatter like coins on stone. Across the ring, small hesitations multiplied. Mera read the band. Patrol 3 asks for proof of clean. Patrol 9 requests court. The Crown answers with a purge writ, half heard, half feared. This is working. Vectar's voice got teeth. Silence. There is no court in fire. Arav spoke to no one and to the ship. There is always a court. He stepped to the cracked viewport and placed 2 fingers on the glass. Play the mirror shame only once, he said. Short, cut fast. Why short? Mera asked. So they doubt, he said. Doubt is heavier than fear. The echo rolled, clear, old, accusing. It did not attack. It asked, Crown, are your hands clean? Open your palms. For one breath, the crown's guns dipped again, honor tugging on the wrist of war. The hunters checked their speed. Purge writs froze mid-symbol as junior officers peeked at their captains. Stare too long into oath, and you begin to see your own face. Window. 20 seconds, Mera said. But, sir, the core is spiking. The ghost court trick is heavy. If it trips, we lock for 90. Arav nodded once. He remembered Zoya's voice. If not today, tomorrow. If not tomorrow, the day after. He thought of days as a weapon. Bleed heat to the skin again, he said. We will be a candle, not a torch. Mera rerouted power. The deck cooled a breath. The red eased to orange. Below, the Admiral's lance trembled. The city's lanterns, 3, then 1, made its perfect line sick. It could kill a block, yes, but it could no longer write a name in ash. Vektar changed tactics. Human, your small lights mean nothing. You will trade your wife for your world, and you will call it victory. Arav looked at the crown. I trade one lie for 2 truths, he said softly. Your lie about power, our truth about love, our truth about law. The 2 top hunters dived. 8 seconds, Mera said. They will ram. Arav drew a slow breath. Take the hit on our ghost. Mera blinked, and then grinned like a thief. She spun up empty drop pods, gave them Saber's heartbeat and hull glow, and dumped them a half-ship length to starboard. SFX, 3 pods spit out, their faint thump-thump. Copies the ship. The hunters targeting sniffed for the dual-oath heartbeat and warm skin. They found the pods. They rammed ghosts and tore empty metal into confetti. Hunters fooled, Mera said. Window, 12 seconds. Arav nodded. Now the mirror inside the mirror. He fed the ghost court echo back through itself. A second-layer reflection. To Keth ears, it sounded like senior captains arguing in a sacred hall 2 levels deep. The crown could overrule them, but to do it fast would look like fear. Vektar finally roared, the first crack in his stone. This is counterfeit right. He stopped. If he named it counterfeit in public without proof, his own hand dirtied the mirror. He swallowed the word. Window. 9 seconds, Mera said. A whisper now. Core breaker is lodged in the outer lattice. If we push the crown's shield 1 more degree into ritual, the inner gate will open an inch. Enough. How? She asked. We cannot play another shame notice. He'll purge us. Arav opened his palm over the console like a vow. We won't play a notice, he said. We will play a promise. He took Zoya's last message, stripped. The words kept the breathing and the steady hand in her tone, and laid it as a thin line on the echo's spine. Human care writing Keth law. It is not language, Mera said, eyes shining. It is intent. Law listens to intent, Arav said. So do hearts. SFX. The echo hum drops. A soft human inhale-exhale floats inside it. The crown flinched, a tiny inward tilt, the kind an old warrior makes before a bow. Not surrender. Recognition. For 1 second, honor remembered why it was born. Gate opening, Mera said. We have it. 7 seconds. The deck lurched. A third hunter, undeceived, scraped Saber's port stern with a glancing blow. SFX. Tearing metal, shower of sparks, alarms jump. Mera flinched, blood dotted her temple. I'm good, she said, lying like a hero. Shield at 62%. Core heat rising again. The black unit's warning climbed back to red. If it locked now, they would freeze in the Admiral's teeth. Arav pressed both hands to the rail. Route my biometrics into the core, Governor. Mera stared. That will bind the core to your heart. If yours spikes, it trips. If I fall, it locks, he said. Good. It will not lock while I stand. Mera saw the shape of the choice and did not argue. She patched him in. The warning light listened to his pulse. It steadied. not calm, decided. 5 seconds, she said. On Earth, Zoya rinsed her hands, lifted a kettle, and poured tea into 2 cups. She set one by the door. She kept one for herself. The lantern still blinked 3, then 1. The fear siren could not teach a street to forget a rhythm it owned. Vektar came back, voice like ice over a river. Human, you have walked me into a mirror full of smoke. I can smash the mirror. I can smash you, Arav finally answered on open band, his tone even. Admiral, if you smash the mirror, your fleet learns you fear it. Then your crown cracks from inside. Honor or victory. Pick one. 2 heartbeats. 3. The Admiral did not speak. 3 seconds, Mera said. Inner gate is thin. We need a push. Arav looked down to earth, as if he could see a small door, a warm cup, a patient light. He whispered 4 words into the ship, into the circuit, into the old law that had forgotten its first reason. For love. For us. He rolled the ship by a hair, angled Saber's nose into the open inch, and told the lodged core breaker to wake, not with a blast, but with a bow. A small, respectful surge that matched the ghost court's breath. SFX. A quiet rising tone, humans humming under their breath, meshed with a deep Keith Bowl note. The inner gate flexed. 2 seconds, Mera said. Now or never. The core flashed a final warning. Arav's heart hit the rail and held. The light stayed orange. He raised his hand, and his voice was almost the sound of a smile that had not reached the mouth yet. Flow. Something deep inside the Keth crown moved. Not a blast, not a scream, more like a hinge that had slept for 100 years and finally remembered how to turn. On Saber's bridge, Arav Khan kept both hands on the rail. The sealed Keth core glowed dull orange, tied to his heartbeat. Lieutenant Mera Singh wiped a thin line of blood from her temple and read the numbers through the sting. Inner gate bending, she said. We made space. A very small space, Arav nodded. Small is enough. Outside, the last hunter limped away, confused by ghost pods and the human dual-heart rhythm. The crown's war shield kept trying to close. But the ghost court echoes, those old reflected honor voices, held it half open, like hands keeping a door from slamming. SFX. Layered chimes, questions in an empty hall, then brief silence. A new tone cut the bands, cold, measured, the weight of a man who never bends. Admiral Vektar. Human. I name your mirror a fraud. I name your breath a crime. His voice did not shake. His silence, for half a second after, did. Mera whispered. He wants to say the word counterfeit. If he says it without proof, he stains his own crown. Arav's eyes never left the crown's drum. So he won't say it. He will try something worse. The crown answered with a silent pulse. No audio, pure protocol. Mera's face hardened. Sir, it's a sunder clause. If the crown declares all rights corrupted, it can throw the entire ring into blind war. No honor windows, no proof. Just fire! Arav blew out one slow breath. Law versus love had brought them here. Nihilism would try to end it. Time? He asked. 4 seconds until the clause lands, Mera said. Then we lose the mirror. The crown becomes pure gun. Arav looked down at earth. The coast road, a small clinic, lanterns blinking 3 then 1, a street tapping its own courage. He spoke like someone telling a child a true thing. Then we must turn their claws into our door. How? Mera asked. By giving the crown proof it cannot ignore, he said. Not a human proof. A Keth one. He turned to the core. Inside it lay the witness halls, recorded oaths, old trials, captains admitting mistakes to keep honor alive. He searched fast, not with fingers, with intent. SFX. Low bowls ringing, files unrolling like banners. A thin human heartbeat under. He found a thread. A record of a time a lesser crown paused a war upon hearing a dual oath from an enemy. The enemy had offered a heart and a single chance. Keth law called such a moment mirror mercy. It did not require surrender. It required a clean attempt to end the fight with one decisive act. If accepted, both sides paused and let that one act stand. Arav's voice went low. Mirror mercy, he said. Mera's eyes widened. If we ask, we bind ourselves. One shot. If it fails, we must stand down. One shot is all we have, Arav said. We already fired it. He opened the hall's record into the live band. Not words, not translation. Tone and shape. Ritual, not speech. SFX, a clear old bell tone. Then the hush of a hall waiting. The Crown's sunder claws paused one heartbeat. The fleet listened, not to a human plea, but to a Keth memory of its best self. Vektar spoke, almost gentle. You would ask Mera mercy with a stolen core and a household drum? You insult us, Arav answered with the smallest thing he had. Honesty. Admiral, he said on open band, we borrowed your mirror because our lives were inside your teeth. We borrowed your rhythm because our hearts are small. We offer you what your law names clean. One attempt to end the fight. No trick, no second shot. Mera squeezed the rail. Her voice was air. The core breaker is lodged. It needs a breath more. Vektar said nothing. The silence stretched like a blade. Below, on the coast road, Zoya Khan stood in the clinic doorway. The lanterns in the windows blinked 3 then 1. Children clapped the same. A kettle whispered. She poured tea into 2 cups. She set one by the door. She kept one for her own cold hands. She spoke to the hallway, to the air, to the sky. We kept time, she said softly. You keep your promise. SFX heartbeat close. Then out to space, thin vacuum hush, Arav placed his palm flat on the sealed core. It was hot. He did not move it. Admiral, he said, calm, if you accept, your crown stays clean. If you refuse, your captains will hear fear in your hands. That was not a threat. It was a map. Vektar exhaled once into every channel. The crown's drum gave one reluctant tilt. You have one breath, human, he said. One. The Mera mercy accepted. Mera's eyes burned. Window, one breath, she said. We must open the inner gate now. Arav did not shout. He did not pray. He aligned. The human heartbeat riding the shame echo matched the crown's tiny inward bow. The core breaker woke inside the lattice, not with explosion, but with a bowback. A respectful surge matched to the old hall's tone. SFX, deep throat bowl note. A dove-soft thunder. Then the sound of pressure leaving a room. The crown's inner gate gave way. Light moved through dark like ink through water. Systems dimmed in a ring. Guns went heavy. The drum lost its metronome. Not destroyed, disarmed. A sword placed on the floor. Mera's breath came out in one laugh that was almost a cry. The crown is blind, she said. Control network is soft. They can still move, but honor rules hold them open-handed. Vektar's voice returned softer than before, the calm after choosing. You struck within right. You made me pause. I will not break my own mirror. He did not say defeat. He said something sharper. Dominion orders. Withdraw. Across the ring, Keth ships turned their faces away from Earth in careful arcs. Like proud men choosing to leave a room rather than break it, hunters gathered the wounded. The fear sirens went quiet, like a storm tired of its own voice. On Earth, the Keth lance above the coast road powered down. The lanterns kept blinking 3, then 1 for a few extra minutes, basically to prove a point to the sky. SFX. Sirens fade. Street noises. Footsteps. A kettle click. The soft relief of people breathing. Mera slumped into her chair for the first time. The sealed core cooled orange to amber. The warning light turned to patient yellow, listening to Arav's heartbeat, which was now exactly what Zoya would call acceptable. Sir, Mera said, smiling through grime. We are alive. Arav finally let his eyes close for half a second. He opened them. Status of the shuttle? He asked. Safe, she said. They climbed over the clouds. They are asking permission to land near the old Coast Road Clinic. He nodded once. Give it. He looked down at Earth and at the small blue mark he had carried like a flame inside his chest. His voice was very small and very firm. Take me home. SFX. Engines dropped to a gentle, confident hum. No rush now. Saber tilted and fell into Earth's wide arms. Through the cracked viewport, clouds turned from black to gray to a shy blue. The ocean shone like a friend who had waited at the door with the light on. They came in over the coast. The road showed itself like a scar healed right. The clinic's roof was plain. A kettle steamed on a windowsill because some promises are practical. The shuttle settled first, old metal sighing. Saber set down second, not elegant but present. The ramp lowered. Smoke blew past and did not matter. Arav walked down with careful steps because the ground felt heavier than war. Zoya stood in the doorway. She had a small cut on her cheek and the kind of eyes that make a man forget fleets. For a long second, no one spoke. The street went as quiet as a temple. Lanterns glowed 3, then one last time, and then rested. Zoya lifted 1 cup of tea. She did not lift it high. She lifted it only as high as the space between 2 people who had kept a vow on different fronts. "You came home," she said. Arav smiled in the way a person smiles when the body is too tired to move, and the soul is too full to stop. "For love," he said. He glanced back at the sky where the crown had become only a memory. "For Earth." He looked at her again. "For us." They stood in the doorway and traded heat from a small cup, because that is what winners do when victory is loud and the heart wants quiet. Around them, people started to talk and laugh and cry in soft human ways. Children tapped the last rhythm on door frames just to hear the wood answer. Tap, 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 tap. The street learned a new habit, how to hold together. SFX. The clinic's bell chimes once. Wind moves gently. Distant gulls, up in orbit, Keth engines drew lines away from Earth. Inside the flagship, Admiral Vec Tar stood alone and watched his reflection in a dark screen. He spoke to it not angry, almost curious. "We feared their missiles," he said. "We should have feared their vows." He touched the console the way a man touches a scar to remember why he healed. He did not smash the mirror. He left it standing. Back on the road, Mera limped from Saber and sat on a step with her helmet in her lap. She looked at the clinic door and at the 2 cups, and she laughed once, bright. "The plan," she said to nobody, "was insane." She added more softly, "It was human." Zoya handed her a 3rd cup. "Drink," she said. "Then help me move the chairs. We have a lot of people to sit." Arav took Zoya's free hand. It was small and strong. The promise between them did not glow or sing. It just held. The camera rose slowly, over the clinic, over the road, over the ocean, up to the sky where a circle had broken without breaking the world. On-screen text. "For her, for Earth, for us. SFX." Music lifts once, then fades into the heartbeat of a quiet city. The end. Outro. Simple voiceover. If this story moved you, like and subscribe. Tomorrow, a new HFY tale. Another vow, another mirror, another human answer.